Hi, it's me again, Karen Romano Young, back to read another portion of A Girl, a Raccoon, and the Midnight Moon by me, with illustrations by Jessica Bagley, and published by Chronicle Kids in 2020. Part 2, The Plot Thickens. And it's a quote from a poem. Oh, if instead she'd left to me the things she took into the grave, that courage like a rock, which she has no more need of, and I have. From The Courage That My Mother Had, by Edna St. Vincent Millay. From Mine the Harvest, 1954. Chapter 14, The Rock Boy. September 18th. The boy in the day-glow green t-shirt was inside the library. He stood with his fingertips on the edge of the circulation desk. Before Mom even noticed he was there, he announced, "I found a new head for your statue." Pearl sat up straight so fast she bumped her head against the globe, setting it spinning. "Vincent doesn't need a new head," she yelled across the reference room, startling an old lady who was poring over pictures of tulip bulbs in a big National Geographic. National Geographic is an actual magazine. Most of the covers have bright yellow edges. The first thing she noticed about the boy, now that he was near, was his eyes. They were a light bright green in his pale, pale face and were almost as oddly lit as his shirt and his white blonde hair. The light didn't come from the color of his eyes, and it wasn't reflecting from his shirt. The light had something to do with what he was saying, or how he was saying it. He came over to her nook behind the atlas shelf. "It's granite," he said. "There's lots of granite around here. It's native to this part of the country. So if you want to get the new head carved, I'm a good man with rocks." Here his voice rose, all hopeful, out of a low beginning teenage voice to a still and middle school one. "And I've found the perfect piece of granite." The front of his shirt said, "Go climb a rock." The back said, "Yosemite Climbing School." Pearl asked, "Did you go to Yosemite Climbing School?" Yosemite was a national park like the one Bruce used to work in. It was in California or somewhere. "When I'm 16, the boy said, I'm going cross country. I'm going to buy a car and just drive until I get there." He talked in that way of someone who was really smart about one topic and made you pay attention even if you weren't even interested. Pearl wasn't interested. In Vincent, yes. In raccoons, definitely. But granite? No. Yet she couldn't help being impressed. She had never thought about what she'd do, just herself, without Mom or anybody. But this boy had his plans made already. "How old are you?" she asked. 14. He put out a hand. "Oleg Boyko," he said. He could have added professional rock geek, but he didn't have to. The rest of the geeks in the room had already figured him out. A sidebar about geeks. "Everybody's a geek for something," Granny had told Francine the other day, and it was true. You could usually tell what every person was a geek for. Pearl was a geek for books. So was her mom. So was Alice. You could be a geek for words like Ramon, for music like Simon, for nature like Bruce, though it might have been better for him if he was a geek for libraries. For me, it's writing, but it was reading first. That boy who just moved to the neighborhood with his screechy mother was a rock climbing geek, according to my cousin Eloise, who lived in the tree and could look right into his apartment. He had posters of mountains on his bedroom walls. Francine was a geek for two things: dance and drama. What Pearl had to recognize was that geeks could be friends with other geeks, even if they were geeks about different things. By M.A.M. "Pearl Moran," said Pearl. "What grade are you in?" she asked, shaking his hand. 8th, said Oleg, "at Lancaster Avenue." Pearl school? She hadn't noticed him there. Transfer? She asked. From where? He named an elementary school, and she knew without being told that he'd fallen behind the year before. Nobody in 8th grade was already 14 in September. Plus, Pearl's school was a magnet for messed up middle schoolers from other public schools. Something told her Oleg was good at science, but you had to be good at everything to be good at school. Would you like a library card, Oleg? Asked Mom. Sure, he said, coming back to the circ desk, probably because it was so obviously the right answer. Mom handed him an application, and he started turning out his jeans pockets, scattering their contents on the circ counter. Pebbles, a marble, a red bandana all scrunched up and dusty, a dirty sheet of folded pink paper. It was the lost head sign. And $1. I don't have much money on me. Oh, library cards are free, Mom said, and Oleg looked relieved. He started filling out the application. We have rock books, Pearl said, coming nearer to peer at Oleg's handwriting, which was tiny and neat, not what you'd expect from a bad student. Really? Oleg's face was all light. Sure, in the geology section, said Simon, and the two boys went upstairs to the 551s. All this talk about why anybody comes to the library. He came out of kindness, said Ramon. I'm not sure we can count on kindness to bring our circulation numbers up. Kindness is a rare commodity. Anyway, you sound like you're talking about a space alien, said Mom. He came in kindness. I come in peace. Take me to your leader. Bruce shuffled quickly down the spiral staircase with the package for the library board office, just as Francine's tap shoes clicked up the steps. No new head, Pearl was saying. We don't want a new head. What, never? Just keep her headless? Asked Ramon. If she gets a new head, it'll never look right. It could be all wrong. Plus, people will stop trying to find the old head. Pearl was appalled at the catch in her voice and struggled to control it. I don't know about that, said Bruce, but payment for the sculpting of a new head is more money than I want to ask for. Bruce, said Mom, if she stays headless, nobody will know who she is. He blew out his breath. We have to make choices. Pearl suddenly understood that it wasn't just money, it was also how much time you could put into any one problem, and Bruce just couldn't do everything. She grabbed Francine by her sparkly shirt and pulled her into the reference room. She whispered, I've got a theory that boy might be the thief. Simon had left Oleg upstairs and followed them in. Oleg Royko. He rolled the name across his tongue. Yeah, did you see his muscles? Francine giggled. Simon said, How come you're noticing muscles lately? I didn't notice them. Pearl flushed. Simon, think. He climbs rocks. Maybe he can lift them, too. He could have lifted that head, and he was out there spying last week from the other side of the fence. Mom came in. She'd overheard them from behind the circ counter. Let me get this straight, she said. You think this boy has been staking out the library from some apartment over there, waiting for his moment to steal a statue's head? And he came and did it under the cover of night? Yes. Pearl liked the way Mom described it. Why would he do that? Called Ramon. Huh? The girls said. It's not enough just to have a way to do it or the muscles to do it. Ramon came up and leaned against the doorframe. Plenty of people have muscles. Why would that boy steal Vincent's head? What's his motive? Simon suggested, because he wanted the job of replacing it? Pearl had an idea, of course. So first he removes the head, then he offers to replace the head. That way he gets the thrill, and he gets the reward of money, said Francine, when we pay him for the new head. Could be, said Ramon. All you have to do is prove he stole the old one. His owl eyes were twinkling, and Pearl could tell he was teasing them. Find the head in Oleg's house, said Simon, nodding mock seriously. Blow things wide open. The point is, said Mom, the boy has a stone, and if Vincent gets a good head, we get some good publicity. We have a little ceremony. The press comes, some neighborhood folks. So you're for it? Pearl wailed at her mother. But there's no way the head will look the same. Mom said nothing. Ramon shrugged. Simon raised his eyebrows. Only Nichols, who apparently had been awake for a while over in his chair, gave the group a sympathetic look, pushing out his lower lip and nodding sideways. Then it'll be a little different, he said. Thanks for listening. See you on Monday.